Welcome back. Kids all across the country are settling back into the classroom, and as you know, they aren't always the cleanest little humans, and with that comes an increase in the spread of germs and viruses. And here, with ways you can protect not just yourself, but also your families, is Dr. Doug Casper, an infectious disease specialist with OSF Healthcare. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, we know that parents are scheduling appointments with pediatricians, physicals, things of that nature, preparing their child for school. So what are some things that they should be keeping in mind around this time of year?
Yeah, so back to school, back to activities means more exposures. And so kids are going to be exposed to their classmates. They're going to be in extracurricular activities. And this happens during the time of year where we see increased viral activity, seasonal viral activity. So now is the time to start talking about what families can do to help prevent their children and those at home from becoming exposed to illness.
Yeah, and speaking of seasons, I mean, we're getting ready to go into the fall. That's typically when people get sick a little more easily. So when exactly should they be prepared for that peak?
Yeah, right now is the time to begin to start to talk about it. So we expect to see an increase yearly in RSV infections that occurs around October. In our community, that's followed by influenza into November to December. And currently, we see COVID continuing to circulate throughout the country. And so each year, it seems like we talk about this, but it is settled into a pattern where it's at least semi-predictable in our community.
Absolutely. And what are some of the most common ways that they spread in school?
Yeah, so most of these viruses are spread by respiratory droplets. And so that means being very close, like having a desk mate, or having a sibling at home, or potentially being in a sport or activity where you're going to share equipment or use the same counter space, eating space. And so we know that these exposures occur, and they occur more frequently when we get back to our school.
That's right. So there's been a lot of talk about the newer RSV vaccine over the last year. Who exactly should consider getting this?
Yeah, so RSV vaccine is approved for pregnant women in their third trimester. So you give it to the mother to protect the baby that's not born yet. And it's also approved for adults age 60 and older. But there is a benefit in that most of the cases that we see of RSV are in school age or younger children. And so we want to also protect the people that are at home with those children, which includes their parents, grandparents, or other extended family.
So if the pregnant women get this shot, how would that impact the baby?
So the pregnant women can develop antibodies that can be passed to the baby prior to birth so that the baby is protected after birth. However, there's also an additional medication that the newborn baby can receive is 2 years or younger that can help assist with protection as well.
And let's talk about the COVID vaccine, or the latest one coming out. Should people still get it? What are some differences, and how can it kind of compare to the RSV vaccine?
Yeah, wonderful topic. We expect a decision today by the FDA on an updated COVID vaccine to be available probably in October of this year. So this will be different than the vaccine that's currently available. Guidance will come out very, very soon, but I'd expect it's a vaccine that covers the newer variants of COVID that should be applicable to all age groups in the population.
Alrighty, Dr. Casper, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your expertise with us. Hopefully parents, administrators, anyone working with kids, you can take these tips and apply them throughout the school year and help keep our kids safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have more 25 News Good Morning coming up after the break.